Hey there guys, it's Ben Trache here. I'm back to show you guys another video on an exercise. Today we're going to be teaching you the bent over row. I got my friend Kevin Hughes from 360 Fitness to give me a hand in showing the formalities and technique of the exercise. Kevin's a very good Olympic powerlifter. I have displayed him in past videos, so he'll be a very good demonstrator for the bent over row itself. So the first thing that I'm going to go over with you guys is actually going to be the grip. It is one of the more important parts of the bent over row. In the video here, you're going to see Kevin measuring out where his hands are going to go based on the length of his thumb from that outside, well, sorry, not farthest outside, but outside knurling line. And what he's going to do is just drop his thumb to the other side of the bar. What this is going to do is allow his elbows to track right by his side and give him that good bent over row that you guys are looking for. Also, with this, Kevin's feet, you'll see that he's got about a shoulder width stance. This is also what we're looking for with a bent over row. I wanted to demonstrate also a farther grip. Kevin's also gonna line up just as he did before, putting his thumbs out, but then he'll continue to move his hands out to that far knurling line. What this is gonna do is it's actually gonna lengthen your lat out a bit and allow it to have more extension in the bottom end of your lift. When you pull, you're going to activate your rhomboids a little differently, as well as your lats, as well as your biceps, just because your arms are farther apart. So here, guys, we're going to show you the actual movement of the lift. Kevin's going to take just the barbell here to show you guys where his bar is tracking when he's doing his lift. So the first thing he does is he brings that bar up, and then he bends over to about a 45-degree angle, pushing his butt out, slight bend in the knees, and chest up. He also keeps his chin up and watching himself in the mirror to make sure his lift is proper and correct. From here, he just pulls that bar back to his belly button, and this does allow for him to make sure he gets that proper lift. Here, guys, this is a little bit of a different demonstration of the bent over row. We tried to get Kevin to go over to that 90-degree angle from his hips, but we didn't quite get it. It is difficult to get that full 90-degree. What it does is it'll actually lengthen your lat out quite a bit more. Your arm drops farther towards your head, pulling that arm forward and lengthening that lat. It does give you a different dynamic to the lift itself, so if you want to give it a go, it is something you can try out and you know, test the waters with. Some people really like it. One difficulty with it is when you're doing a bent over row, some people will actually stand up while they're doing the bent over row. This seems to be the case with the majority of people who do the bent over row, so you really just got to watch yourself when you're doing it and stay over in that. Here, guys, I did want to show you that bent over row and what happens when someone does stand up in it. You'll notice that Kevin's range of motion really gets cut down when he's standing up rather than being in that bent over position. Here, he'll also show how he can't really move that bar nicely. It becomes more of a shrugging motion, and we don't want that. We want the length of the lat, or we want your lat to be lengthened out so that you do get a really nice lift out of it. So just be aware that when you are doing. So here, guys, I just wanted to give you an idea of what the lift looked like with weights on the bar. Kevin approaches the bar as he usually does. He puts his thumbs outside that knurling point like we discussed earlier. And what he's going to do is he's actually going to deadlift the bar. We have an instructional video on a deadlift if you don't know how to do it properly. But he does get it all the way to the top of his deadlift, and then he bends over into the bent over row position after that. This is a really nice, safe way of doing the bent over rows to make sure that your back stays in this nice straight line. Here's the lift itself in full speed, just to give you guys an idea of how it's supposed to move and the fluidity of it. Hopefully that kind of helps you guys out in terms of watching the lift. This is just a quick posterior view of the lift. There is one thing at the end that I wanted to show you guys. He does that deadlift again, and he does demonstrate that good proper form. You'll see his lat is lengthened out, his arms are down, and his elbows track nicely beside his sides. That bar is grinding right along his legs and making sure that it's going right towards his belly button. Right at the end of the lift here, he actually stands back up to the top, and then he goes down in that deadlift form to make sure that his back is nice and safe while doing the lift or completing the lift. I hope the video was instructional for you guys. The bent over row is a pretty moderately difficult movement. Make sure if you do it, get somebody to spot you and maybe give you a few pointers the first few times that you do it, and really make sure that you stay down in that bent over row position that we talked about during the video. If you guys have any questions or concerns about the lift itself or anything else about the video, please feel free to comment on the YouTube page and we can get back to you as soon as possible. Again, I hope the video was very instructional for you, and hopefully it does help you out with your bent over row in the near future. I do want to give a shout out to my friend Kevin Hughes again for giving me a hand with the bent over row, the formalities and the technicalities of it, and being a good demonstrator as such. My name is Ben Trache, and thank you very much for swinging by. Have a good night.